Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Man, Antonelli here. Today, we're talking about my advice for young baseball players around the country. This may be the number one question that I get on YouTube from a lot of dads and parents, and then obviously a lot of players. And it's, you know, could you give me some advice? Could you give me a couple tips? I love baseball. I want to play in the major leagues one day. Usually it's like, hey, my son is 6 years old and he wants to play in the major leagues. How can you help? What can you tell him? I'm like, geez, 6 years old. I was trying to make my T-ball team. But anyways, it's great to have big dreams. And I no doubt when I was a young player, I was probably one of those kids that if you asked me what I wanted to do when I got older, I said I want to play in the major leagues and I want to play in the NHL. That was like kind of my two things. I wanted to play. My goal when I was real little, I wanted to play college hockey and baseball at UNH, University of New Hampshire, and then I want to play in the major leagues or the NHL. Those are like my two goals. Those are like the only two things. All I really thought about when I was younger was sports, and if I wasn't playing them, I was practicing them. Get home from school, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so my advice to young baseball players, and it's very simple, or to parents when they're talking about this. I think if you want to be a really good player, or have a chance to be a really good player and play at a really high level, right? You can have these things and still not play at the major leagues. It's incredibly tough to play at the major leagues. You need to have a lot of luck. You need to be born a certain way, and then you've got to have an incredible work ethic and love of the game and all this stuff. But the two biggest things, honestly, when I think about myself as a young player, you've got to love playing and practicing. You must. If you don't love playing and love practicing, you'll never be really good. If somebody has to force you to do it, you'll never be good. That is like the number one thing. Is you have to have a passion for the game, but also for preparing for the game and practicing. And I get so many emails and so many comments that say, my son, I want to push my son to help him make it. And his passion or his drive or his love for the game isn't really where it needs to be. And what do I do? Like, that's, I think, the hardest thing. If you don't love the game, it takes so much work, and there's so much adversity in the game. It's, really baseball just beats you down mentally. It's like the toughest, it might be the toughest sport out of all the sports from the neck up, because it's a game of failure. You fail all the time. You can be a great hitter and you fail 70% of the time. That's really difficult to deal with for most players. And there's plenty of times in my career, where like things are going so poorly that I just want to give up. And this is not just at the major league level. This is like at any level. Like I struggled at plenty of times in college and plenty of times in high school where maybe it's hitting or maybe it's fielding or whatever. Maybe the team just stinks and we can't win. Like, there's plenty of times where I'm just like, this is like the worst game of all time. Like, I don't want to do this. This is horrible. But I think my love for the game and for practicing, it just was fun. That's what ultimately brings you back to working hard. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I made it really far in baseball. And of course, I was born with certain skills, or not skills, but just a certain talent level that allowed me to do that, and it helped me build my skill set. But you need it. Like, you really, really need to love it. And I love practicing. I've said this before. I love practicing almost more than I love playing. I just love preparing and seeing myself get better every single day. I just loved it. And that's the second thing. So you got to have a love for it, and you've really got to focus on just getting better every day. That's all I really thought about my whole career. And sometimes I wouldn't even think about it. I just love playing so much, love practicing, that you naturally are going to get better. Like, when I get home, I remember plenty of times getting home from school or late at night, just like going down into my garage. And I remember at my old house, I used to have a little traffic cone, and we would like nail a bed sheet to the top of the garage. I remember for 1 year I used an old bed mattress that I would hit the ball into, and the ball would like come flying back at me. But like I really enjoy just going down there and like putting music on and just hitting off a tee all by myself, and I just loved it. I'd rather do that than do a lot of other things. And I can remember I remember being really, really young, and my family owned an Italian restaurant, and I remember like sitting in the parking lot all the time and drawing or taking I think I took tape or something and made a square out on the parking lot wall, and just throwing the ball into the square and then fielding it and throwing it into the square and fielding it, and just do that for like a really, really long time. And then my dad would get a break from cooking, and he'd come out and like we'd play catch, and then he'd go back in to cook, and I'd throw it off the brick wall. And so those are very simple things that start building your skill set. And if you love throwing the ball off the wall, and if you love just being able to just practice baseball and play with your friends and go outside and like play sandlot ball, that is honestly what builds the skill set that you'll need to play at a high level, right? And so you're playing on a travel team is really good, and getting great coaching is awesome, and you need that stuff helps, okay? But if you don't have the love for the game, then you're not going to practice outside of baseball, right? You're not going to go up to your dad or your mom or your grandparent or your best friend or whatever and say, hey, let's go down to the field and let's hit some balls, or can you hit me some ground balls? You're not going to do that. And if you're a parent that always has to drag your kid to the field and they don't really want to go, then I think you can drag them as much as you want, but I just don't think in the end they're going to be able to make it as far as they probably should. Unless maybe they're just like so naturally gifted that they're going to make it very far. But I think it's really, really tough. So my number one advice is love the game. And as a parent, you can help instill that love of the game by being there. So when they want to go play, if it's great if you can be there and help them and take them to throw BP or hit. And that's what my dad did. Like he'd be there to take me to do stuff, and he would, when I needed to play catch with somebody, he'd play catch with me. When I needed to, hey, can we go down and hit? He'd throw to me. I need a field. He'd hit to me. All right, so that's really important. If you don't have that, a lot of times I will get from players, I don't have anybody to go do this with. Well, you can find a brick wall, and you can find a traffic cone, or maybe you can even find a friend, or I don't know, today on Instagram, maybe you can send out, please, somebody who wants to play baseball with me, maybe somebody will respond. But there's something that you can go find. There's plenty of things you can do on your own. Maybe just go sit down at the local field and just wait until somebody comes by and plays with you. But there's ways to find people, right? If there's no doubt if you do have somebody that can help you, like that does help. But don't let that, I've said this before, and people are like, well, I don't have that person, so I give up. Like, you can go find somebody. Find someone to do it, or you can do it by yourself. But that is absolutely a huge, huge part of it. So have a love for the game and try to get better every single day. And focus on that and that only. Don't focus on, the goals are great. And I had a goal of playing in the major leagues. Like I said, I wanted to go play college baseball. But I didn't obsess about it. I didn't run around telling everybody about it. Like, I think that was just something that kind of helped my drive to want to continue to get better. But honestly, I just wanted to be the best player I could be. And sports were my thing as a young kid. Like, that was the one thing I was good at. And so I wanted to be really good. Like, everybody has a thing, right? Like, if we could rewind way back, and if you knew me when I was younger, like, I was really shy. And like my wife always makes fun of me. Like I was always like a little bit late with the times. Like when kids were like wearing something, I'd be still wearing the thing from like a year ago. Like I was never hip to the times when I was younger. Like when I remember this, when jeans became cool and everybody was wearing jeans when I was younger, I was wearing, my wife calls them swishy pants. I don't know what you call them. Windbreaker, like the pants that make the weird noise. Like I was still wearing that. And kids would be like, dude, what the hell? Why the hell are you wearing those pants, dude? Like, why don't you wear jeans? And I'm like, I like these pants. Like, and like when kids would have like the cool haircut, like my mom was combing my hair over. I had a part in my hair. I would go to school, and my friends would be like, what the hell are you doing with your hair, dude? Like, why are you having your hair combed over like that with spray gel in it or whatever, hairspray in it? And I was like, I don't know, that's how I like my hair. And they were like, dude, you look like an idiot. And I'd be the only kid there, and like they make fun of me for that, and like so like I was like always behind on the time. So I was never like the coolest kid when I was younger. I was really shy, but sports were like my thing. So that's what I did. When I went home, I was like, dude, I have really bad pants and my hair stinks, but I'm going to hit the ever-living you-know-what out of this ball right here off the tee. So that was like my thought process. So those are the things I wanted. I love the game. I want to be really good. I want to improve every day. And when you do that long enough, and you just keep doing it over and over and over again, for a long period of time, you end up getting pretty good. Most players, right? And again, I'm not saying you're going to make it to the major leagues if you do this, but you will make it as far as you're supposed to get. All right. And, I like to watch a lot of Dominican, like I do a lot of online. I'm always trying to look for like Dominican stuff. Like, what are Dominican players doing? And I actually just found some really great video. And I've never been in Dominican, never been to any academies down there, but I've seen enough video where it's all the same. It's like these kids doing all this same stuff. They're throwing balls off walls. They're hitting bottle caps with broomsticks. And there's never any coaches around. It's like you always see like just the kids playing in the streets. I saw a kid a few days ago on Twitter fielding on literally pavement with he had a gardening glove with a piece of wood somehow put on it, and he was fielding like this little ball. Looked like it wasn't a baseball. I don't even know what kind of ball it was. It was like this hard bouncy ball, and he's fielding it and throwing it off a wall on a pavement street. Like, there's a lot of kids that would be like, where's my turf field? Like, the kids down there, they just do play with anything. They're on the beach. I see the kids on the beach. They're like timing each other on the beach, running up and down the beach, running in the water, running out of the water. Like, they're like, they love the game so much. Now, a lot of kids there, like, from a young age, they're like, I'm making it to the big leagues. I'm getting out of the Dominican. I'm going to America. I'm going to make millions of dollars playing the big leagues. And a lot of them do. But they've got an absolute love for the game. And they're working every single minute of the day to get better and improve their game. And that's it. That's the formula. Like, you don't have to go like it's not there's nothing crazy about it, in my opinion, if you keep it very simple, those two things. Now, I know this was a really long video, and hopefully this helps you out a little bit. But it really is my number one question probably that I get from a baseball perspective. And this is a talk we have with a lot of our players. And so, again, hopefully it helps you out. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section below. I could talk about this all day, as you can see. But I'm going to stop now. So thank you so much again for watching. I appreciate it. Share the video with your friends. Comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. And we'll talk to you later.